Hello friends, I'm Daria Alen, marketing leader at PromoRepublic. Thank you for joining us at the PromoRepublic Summit today. Imagine every store, office or franchisee location in your network instantly activated, optimized, engaging, on brand and driving revenue, whether someone clicks a button or not. AI makes this possible today. Over the next hour, we'll dive into proven activation playbooks that deliver results, data-driven and AI-powered workflows that remove friction, and our vision for what comes next in multi-location marketing. We'll introduce an infrastructure and updates that empower every corporate or local team to make marketing work without burden of endless manual tasks. We'll show you how to stop managing locations and start activating them. With that said, Max, let's unlock the reality and future of activation.
Thanks, Daria. Welcome to the PromoRepublic Summit. Whether you're managing 50 locations or 5,000, a single brand or a multi-brand network, we're glad you're here. Because if you're like the teams we work with, you're not just trying to manage the complexity of multi-location marketing, you're here to activate the performance. As a partner to over 100 head offices, a dozen of brand groups, and more than 25,000 of activated locations, believe me, we've seen some patterns. Here's what we hear from them every day. We rolled out a national campaign. Half of the stores didn't post. Not because they didn't care, they just never saw it. We don't need another dashboard. We need to fix what's broken before it spreads. We need to scale what works, not just report what failed. Our franchisees, they are not marketers. They want marketing covered with a partner they trust. Our top stores are crushing it, scaling that success across 500 locations. That's the missing piece. As you can see, it's not an effort problem. It's a systems problem. When system breaks, execution stalls, visibility drops, consistency disappears. Not because people don't care, but because they aren't set up to succeed. At PromoRepublic, we believe in something different. To succeed, do not manage locations. Activate them. Once activated, every brand, every location shows up, stays visible, on brand and up to date. Whether powered by a franchisee, field marketer, or AI. When franchisees focus on what they love, being it serving customers, leading their teams, or just getting home in time for dinner, everything improves. They shouldn't have to fight complex platforms or wait for help from HQ. And HQ needs visibility and control without micromanagement. Since 2014, we've helped brands speak with one voice and still resonate locally. Today, we go further. This year, we've rebuilt PromoRepublic for real-world scale. First, infrastructure that flexes with your organization. We now support full multi-brand and multi-country operations, empower brands, threshold brands, first service brands, and Australia's Medcash rolled out marketing infrastructure with us, and they love it. Second, an even smarter data layer. Google Analytics 4 is in, POS, CRM, all integrated in the data warehouse we provide. Now, you're not just tracking what happened, you're triggering what happens next. Third, PromoRepublic AI, the intelligent execution layer. Composer creates content and replies in your brand voice. Assistant lets you know which regions underperformed, which stores didn't post, all via simple chat interface. Agents automate the mundane, detect issues, and take action on autopilot. AI built into day-to-day, it's working, executing tasks no one likes, day and night. Our mission is simple. We activate your brand in every location. PromoRepublic is your system and your partner to stop chasing execution and start scaling what works. And now, let's dive in.
Thanks, Max, and welcome everyone. I'm Roxy Badun, Head of Product and Customer Success here at PromoRepublic. Today, we are not just talking about why activation matters. We are showing you how it became more a lever for performance across your entire organization. We believe this moment marks the beginning of a new era of transformation for a multi-location organization, and we are excited to embark this journey with you. I hope you can see my screen. Will go from here. Let's begin with a challenge we've seen time and time again. Across over hundreds head offices, 10 brand groups, and more than 25,000 locations, the same issue persists. There is a gap between the marketing strategy designed at HQ and what actually gets executed in the field. Campaigns stall, content never reaches stores, Google profiles go stale, and reviews are left unanswered. And it's not because locations don't care. It's because the system doesn't support consistent scalability and activation. Execution breaks in the handoff. And the cost, it's bigger than the most teams realize. Not everyone understands this, but there is a hidden cost associated with locations that are unactivated in your marketing efforts. Let's reflect on the hidden cost. First, consider the percentage of franchisees or locations that actively participate in your local marketing activities. Those that do local content, those that respond to reviews and do that extra step. Next, think about the time spent on coordination between you and your franchisees. Is it efficient at all? And finally, reflect on the potential clients that your location may miss out on due to delayed responses, lack of visibility in their community. That is all parts that we forget about, but they all have a cost. So what we've seen here and what's good, when you activate your network, the upside is clear and measurable. When 70 or more % of your location are activated, you see a major lift in marketing performance across the board, often within just 3 months. So 1 quarter and you start seeing the result. And it compounds. For every additional 20% of locations you activate, we see on average 6% revenue uplift. And let me give you the numbers that we've seen across the board. Engagement lifts by over 30%, and Google interactions, website visit, clicks, calls grow around 30%. And direction requests, if it's physical business, can grow up to 44%, which is a huge amount of potential new clients. So that is kind of transformation that you need to start doing and start activating your location. So what is exactly this activated location and what we believe should be done? It's not just doing something, it's about doing the right thing, and it should be consistent. The truly activated location has a profile that is at least 85% completed. Placement in the local 3-pack. So you want to have your locations found and visible right on the first page. Reviews are responded within 24 hours, and it's steady flow of fresh, relevant reviews. But beyond the metrics, it's all about visibility and trust, being found, being accurate, and being responsive in every local moment that matters. And depending on your industry, whether you're high touch, like a professional services, or high volume like QSR, you need to have a mix of local and mass localized content that will be different. And by this principle, you need to stay same. Consistent, localized execution wins at scale. So let's see what does activated location actually looks like. Here's an example from Canopy Lawn Care. This is what we want across all the locations. A completed up-to-date Google profile, accurate hours, services, and branding, fresh, high-quality reviews, and critically fast and on-brand replies. Notice how the reviews aren't just answered, they are answered with personality. And that is very important because you want to build the presence and build the trust, and it improves ranking and it drives conversion. And this is activation in practice. Here is another example with local content. And on this slide, you see Canopy localized posts that speak to their community, what customers are seeing and feeling right now. They are educational, seasonal, and visual. It's not just stock content, it's relevant, brand aligned, and local. And it helps to turn followers into customers. And activation means showing up consistently across platforms in the right voice at the right time. So they are doing a great job here. And this is not the one success story that we see. Look at these examples of Westside Pizza, Jan Pro, Icebox locations, 3 completely different businesses, but each one is visible, engaged, and active on their own way. Whether it's a pizza promotion, a community win, a team spotlight, this is how local personality boosts a brand presence. Every location becomes a micro-influencer in a sense. That's a power of decentralized brand activation. And let's keep on going. Same story, more proof. Falabi Windows, Oxygen Yoga, and Jan Pro again. Different verticals, same result. Consistent local presence, clear brand alignment, authentic customer-facing energy. This is how franchises build the local trust, and that is why it pays off in engagement, reviews, and revenue in the end of the day. And one last example, Icebox Colombia. On the left, you have a culture. On the right, you have events. These posts aren't overly produced, but they are real. And that is the most important, being authentic works. This is a location that understands its audience and uses a tool to connect with them. If every location did this consistently, you'd have a brand that is not only scales, but sticks. This is what we mean by activation, and this is what PromoRepublic enables. So one thing that I would want you to remember from this presentation is increased local marketing activation leads to better visibility for your brand. This visibility can be translated into higher revenue across various locations. So you need to aim to activate your location to grow. And how we do that at PromoRepublic? We built PromoRepublic as an activation platform that stack of layers. It starts from infrastructure that reflects multi-brand and multi-location complexity. So the brands can be a brand groups with multiple brands underneath, can be present in different regions and follow different guidelines, but the infrastructure allows them to be within one platform. Data warehouses stores a lot of data from multiple platforms and brings clarity to every location. And AI moves the data to execution. In core, there are products like social, listings, reviews, analytics that help you to execute everything that you got from the data and AI, and brand and governance that ensures that branding compliance and alignment is in place. So let's take a closer look at three existing exciting updates on the platform, infrastructure, data layers, and introduce a new PromoRepublic AI layer. So when we come to infrastructure, we start from foundation. You can activate locally if your platform doesn't reflect how your organization works. So we updated the infrastructure to be suitable for multi-brand workflows. We made it modular, flexible, and scalable with AI agent built to automate recurring actions. This infrastructure enables groups and brands to grow with us. And that is why our clients are choosing us, because we can follow their business workflows within the platform and have them reflected within the platform. What is also important, it's activation. Here is what multi-brand activation looks like on the ground. Every brand follows its own timeline, channels, and regional logic, and we build the flexibility. Your platform adapts to your reality, no other way around. So we want to make sure that platform aligns with business structure, but also our activation aligns with your business processes, and it goes smooth hand in hand. The robust data warehouse for full cycle marketing is our next second update. And this is update of the data layer. We were talking a lot about having the leaderboards and consistency around the house for social media reviews, sentiment data. But it is important to see full cycle marketing funnel in place. It is important to understand what happens from the lead further on. So now we have an option to see data from Google Analytics, Google Search Console, POCs, and CRMs. What we used to have is now evolved, and we have data as one dashboard that aims to be one source of truth, and it enables HQs, regions, and location and franchisees in own unique way, and it allows them to understand how their marketing performs across the board, not just in one specific channel. So let's go to a quick short demo of what we've launched. And today we'll focus on the one story of Google Analytics. It can be way more, and the use cases might be different. So let's imagine you are leading marketing for franchise with hundreds of locations. You just launched new campaign, but your weekly report tells that your sessions are up, as you can see here. That's it. What you actually do with that. Now look here. We see that total users grew 18%. Sessions are up 12%. Great. But immediately GA4 shows us red flags. New users dropped 25%, and engaged session fell 25%. So we see dynamics. So even though the traffic grew, we know that we do not reach new people, and those who we reach aren't sticking. That insight shifts us to a next move. You don't scale campaign, you investigate why they are failing to engage with your campaign and with fresh audience. And you're aiming to understand whether it happens with general campaign or it happens for certain locations. And within the dashboard, we can move to our second page, where you can see different subset of the data that breaks down everything by location. As we can see here, location 5 is a star. 528 users, 101 conversions, 65% engagement rate. That's very nice. Most of their traffic is from organic search. Amazing. It means that their local SEO, GBP present, and listings are doing real great job. But then you look at location 3, same brand, same tool, and yet bounce rate is high, sessions are low, conversions are flat. Why? Maybe their Google listings is outdated. Maybe their content isn't localized. This dashboard doesn't just show what's happening, but it shows you where to act. And what you can also see from here, that 62% of traffic is mobile and nearly 90% of visitors are returning. This is powerful, but also meaning if your mobile UX is tight, you're losing sales. If new users aren't converting, your funnel is stalling. This clarity lets head offices support local teams based on real usage, not assumptions. It also gives franchisees a way to see how their marketing is performing for their specific location. This is a kind of visibility franchise brands need, not more spreadsheets. With GA4 connection into one clean hub, we turn data into direction. Because in multi-location marketing, seeing the story clearly is the competitive advantage. Let's move back to our slides. And move to our next big update, AI-powered activation for multi-location organization. This is where activation truly accelerates. With the third and the most exciting update, we introduced PromoRepublic AI as a key activation. PromoRepublic AI enabled across your stack, trained to your brand data and accessible for corporate offices and the field. What is our vision of PromoRepublic AI? Is to activate local marketing across locations through built-in AI assistant and agents. This system accelerates your team productivity by automating repeatable tasks, make it easier for location and franchisees to manage their marketing. It personalizes the local experience for customers, ensuring that your marketing efforts resonate to the community. AI can activate locations with or without human input, providing flexibility and efficiency. Still, it stays on brand, which is very important for compliance. And the interface feels human and operates 24/7 via chat. And in the future, we hope to see voice there, learning from interactions to improve the efficiency. So let's move from vision to more information about AI. We built it because regular automation is not longer handles complex tasks for multi-brand, multi-location enterprises with tons of unstructured data for dozens of different platforms at scale. It is good when you grow, but it breaks as you scale, and it breaks when you have a lot of unstructured data. With traditional automation, you may make upfront decision, and any changes must be done manually. It takes a lot of hours. And as we see, marketing moves fast, and AI make it move even faster. So it is very important to adjust. And meanwhile, the opportunity with AI-driven workflows is in the following. You establish decision boundaries, and AI operates within them while leading guidance to change. And the AI agent takes in a step further by determining the optimal way to achieve the goals you set, updating and adapting to changes as needed. As you can see, PromoRepublic AI ecosystem, it consists of AI Composer that helps you to generate brand-safe localized posts and replies. It also allows you to translate the content and adjust the strategy on the go. It also has a guide function with assistant and natural languages insights at brand and location level, and they depend on your access on your role. And execute level with agents that help to automate brand safe actions for social listings and reviews. That is important when you scale and grow, and when you want to reassign your routine tasks to agent with brand guidelines and rules, which is very important for us. So this is AI assistant local marketing support, just a text away. As I've mentioned before, AI is moving us and making us more flexible and scalable. AI helps head offices to connect their vision and their plans with execution on the local level. Also, it helps franchisees to understand what is the next step they need to do, helps them to respond reviews, helps them to create the content, and helps them understand the data and understand what's working and what's not. It's a way to connect the dots between head office and location. And let's move to the demo, where we'll see a couple of examples how AI can be used within the platform. This is my test environment platform, and here you can find AI Assistant. AI Assistant is designed to work for all of the roles in the organizations. It can be enabled for head offices, and head offices will see all the data for them. For all of the location field managers that will see data for their area, and also franchisees that can see and understand data for their specific location, or if they own a couple of locations, they can see and chat with assistant based on the requests that they have for locations that they manage. Once you got to assistant, you have a help of prompts that are pre-made and can be assigned special for each brand. And you can start chatting with AI. We'll give a head office request based on our discussion before on Google Analytics. Why the store number 17 underperformed in April? We really want to know. We've seen that there was something going on with that store, but we couldn't understand what was wrong. So we wanted to check this with AI and maybe get some hint from AI so we understand what didn't work. As we can see, there was audience decline for the store and lack of engagement that happened for this channel during this period of time. We see that impressions grew, which is nice. So there was some visibility, but it didn't reflect in the engagement itself. And there was drop in Instagram, Pinterest. So if we imagine that we are a business like fitness or QSR, where Instagram and visual channels matter, we can attribute it to sales. So we see audience issues, fluctuation of engagement. Maybe the content that we are working is not working well. And the next steps suggested in order to improve the results in the following months for the specific location. You can continue chatting with the chat in regards of this matter in order to find more insights, understand what content is working, or just create a post that will take the best performing metrics for this location and make it work. If you're head office, you can also cross-compare it and benchmark it to all other locations in the area or in general within your brand. And if you are working with reviews and you're on the local level, you can ask for different help. For example, what was my last reviews, and how we responded, without need to go to reputation or being on the call on the mobile. That is very handful to gather help to see what was the last review. It was 1-star rating review that we received. Customer had a frustration regarding communication and service. There is a suggested response that you can use. You can tweak it based on the brand guidelines. And if you have a set brand guidelines that we can incorporate into the platform, it will follow the brand guidelines within the response. So recommendation here is to personalize it. 1-star review is not the easiest to respond for AI, but it gives you a sample and it helps you to save time crafting the response. And it also helps you to automate response on the go from different devices. And let's have one more chat connected to Google. And it can be something else depending on what is your goals and what channels are connected. But I tend to ask what is the conversion from views to interaction on Google Business Profile, because we see that it's very important to measure what happens with all of the views on Google, because they are your leads and you want to make sure that you get the traffic that is important for your company, and you want to make sure that they are converting from your Google Business Profiles, or you need to optimize them. Let's see how it's working for this subset of data, but it's based on all the locations that I have connected to my test. We have amazing conversion of 17.7%, which is better than average. We can see subset of the data, understand what did we have in May for the location. We can make an action plan based on this, how to improve it if you feel that it's important to improve the results. And for everyone, there is like a history of chats, and you can open it and see what's going on across the board and have more conversations, more understanding of the data, more highlights from your data. So if you are doing reports or you need some explanation on your data, AI Assistant is the one to help you with understanding and execution of the data. And what is exciting now, we are looking for 10 brands and franchise, including head offices and franchisees that are willing to participate in our beta. The beta will be 1 month. The week 1 will get onboarding. Week 2 will go through pump testing, and 2, 3, all the weeks after onboarding. And week 4 will gather some feedback from you and get insights. We are working on the next iteration within AI, so there are more updates coming, and we see that it's beneficial within alpha, so hope to see you joining our beta. And now you should see a poll on the screen whether you are ready to get the beta access to AI Assistant. Please click yes, sign me up, and we'll get back to you. If you feel that you are scared and not ready to activate your locations, you can skip it. But we want to see you on board and want to see more and more people activating their locations and more people see and get the value of AI. And thank you everyone for joining and hope to see you on our beta. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Roxy. So what we just saw is that PromoRepublic is the platform that is built for activation. But we know that tools alone doesn't solve the whole problem. Doesn't solve what's broken. And sometimes at the very heart of low activation or adoption of local marketing in the field is not the strategies, but inconsistency and misalignment between strategy in the corporate office and actually and the way how actual life and work looks like in the field in real world cases. So that's why I'm excited to bring someone who knows it all, who's seen it all and fixed it all. Marcy Kleinsasser has over 30 years of experience leading franchise marketing transformations. You've built programs that connect data, people, technology all together. Lucky to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Daria. I'm thrilled to be here. Always love having a chat with you.
Love it. Marcy, I have a quote, your quote in our LinkedIn conversation in the comments. So you said before that we're still in the people's business, but now tech and AI are part of how we deliver on that promise by personalizing at scale and making human connection repeatable. So let's talk about it. Let's dive into it.
Yes.
Just dive deeper. So maybe let's start with the ground level, like the basics. So in your experience, what do franchisees actually want to spend their time on?
Oh, that's a huge question. But at the very core of why someone buys a franchise, they're interested in kind of getting to where their kind of the feet meet the street, if you will. They want to run the business they bought. They want to build a team. They want to deliver the customer experience of that brand. And they want to spend as much as required on the marketing side of the business, but they didn't join the brand to become kind of high-level marketers.
Yeah.
They want to, obviously full-time immerse themselves in that brand and be successful at it. And at the end of the day, they want to take as much money to the bank and ultimately maybe leave a legacy for their family.
Yes, yes, exactly. What usually tends to go in their way? Like what they're getting, what pulls them away from doing what they do?
Yeah, so they wear a lot of hats. They're pulled in a lot of different directions. And they tend to be kind of like firemen, if you will, or firewomen. They're going to kind of put out the fires where they're needed. But we want them to work on their business, not in their business. And that's kind of a cliche, but it's so true in all the different brands that I've been a part of and had the pleasure to help support franchisees. The franchisees that are most successful are doing that today. They're delegating where they need to. They're spending the time where they can actually grow their business. And by doing that, they are spending time in marketing, but in their community. They're building relationships with people to build their brand. They're following the playbook of their brand strategist, of the franchisor. But in doing so, they're executing local area marketing strategies and tactics. And they're working on things that can help, again, put money in the bank, grow their business successfully and profitably, but they're not spending too much time where it's wasteful. They're not getting too bogged down in the data, but they're looking at the data that's going to help them grow. So that's really where I'm seeing the most successful franchisees today, and franchisees of the future need to follow that.
Love it. Well, it's an important reminder not to waste their time on what doesn't work and just work on what works.
Exactly. Exactly. And again, not spend time wastefully. I have seen franchisees that get too bogged down because they either love marketing and they want to spend so much time in it that they're not focusing on areas of their business, like building teams,
Yeah.
hiring successful technicians in their business, or the growing the teams that can help them get in that growth trajectory that helps them be successful. So spend enough time in marketing, but not too much time in marketing, and work on the things that work and do help them in the areas, but also have a learning mindset too. Not get too stuck in their ways that they only want to execute on things that they're comfortable with.
Oh, yeah.
Open to new programs and opportunities. And also, I know successful franchisees work together very well with franchisees either in their market or across the system, and have that kind of always be learning mindset.
Yeah, love it. Important reminder. It's very important. Okay, love it. So figured out what franchisees have to and have not to do. What about marketers in HQ and corporate office? What they want to do and what they're getting pulled away from?
Yeah, I would say marketers tend to unfortunately get stuck in reactive mode too much, and they want to be more in proactive and strategic mode. So they're looking for partners like yourself or fellow marketers to help them always look for strategic ways to support their franchisees so that they can be more in coaching and strategist mode and not get into that reactive mode. And also that they can coach their franchisees to do the same. That really kind of becomes a conundrum for brand marketers, in that they have to really find the time to work on their business, just like we teach our franchisees, find the time to work on the business, not in the business being reactive. So that's really a fine balance.
Yeah, just like more strategy, less execution, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be good at both,
Yes.
but it's really important that you balance the time in your day, in your week, in your month, because at the end of the day, brand marketers are held accountable for the goals of the
Yep.
business.
Yep.
And while we have to be supportive of our franchisees, if we're not watching out for the brand and the brand's growth, again, that's a lose-lose, and you want to get into the win-win for the brand, because if the brand isn't healthy, that's not helpful for the franchisee who bought into that brand, and they want to see that brand grow as well.
Love it. Makes perfect sense. Okay. Yeah, now we see that both sides sometimes are getting overwhelmed and pulled away from some strategic part and also working on business and not in business. Do you think, in your personal experience or in your point of view, can the next wave of AI powered technology kind of bring back this time to both franchisees and franchisors and marketers so they can actually work more on business and not in business?
I think as marketers, AI is definitely helping us to amplify our work
Yep.
and giving us not only back time, but helping us to kind of generate new ideas. Obviously, bridging a gap between national and local. And there's so many use cases for
Yep.
AI today. We could be on this conversation, Dari, for
Yeah,
hours.
it's a separate topic.
Yeah, I mean, but I do think AI is becoming that force multiplier for us as marketers. There's not a moment in my day I can tell you that I don't consider, AI as my personal assistant in a various of ways, whether it's a data problem that I'm having, or a creative problem, or a strategic problem, a research problem. So I do think whether you're a marketer or you're a local franchisee trying to solve any problem, certainly a marketing problem, that we don't rely on AI today. And it's that question that everyone's pondering today: is AI going to replace a human? I
Yes.
don't believe that to be true. As I said, I believe it's going to be a force multiplier for the humans that are embracing it, because it will replace you in terms of the next person that's finding a way to use it better than you as a marketer or a business owner in general. But I do think that there's so many use cases where we all just move to an AI tool to help us be better at whatever problem we're trying to solve, and or help us achieve our goals, period.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a time in my problem solving process today that I'm
Mhm.
not pulling in AI to the equation.
It's interesting that you mentioned that some people, I would say it's still a pretty big number. Don't remember the specific data, but it's like more than a half of people still thinking that AI is a threat. And so it's very natural for us to have this kind of fear of losing control or losing quality. Do you think there is like some kind of a mindset shift that should happen in franchise marketing teams that will help them like to kind of transform the way they work? We know that this is a process and it's like it might be a long process, but maybe something that helps you to shift the mindset in your head and maybe in your teams that you work with.
Well, it's interesting because not only in my company, but in mastermind groups that I'm part of, or just in the industry in general,
Yep.
it depends who you're talking to,
Yep.
and kind of where they are in the span of time that they've been using AI, or they've been exposed to AI, or their company has adopted AI,
Yep.
and their mindset. Their mindset could be, I'm just putting my toe in the water. Their mindset could be different in that they've been using AI for years, or their mindset could be different in that their company is taking a very conservative approach,
Mhm.
and they have different rules and regulations around how to use AI, whether your role requires you to use it, and or if the company has said based on your role you have limited use to AI. So it really just depends on where you are in your journey around being exposed to and or your ability to use AI. All I can tell you is wherever you sit in that kind of that journey of exposure to trying to use and or interest in using AI, you need to start somewhere. If you haven't started, start now. If you have started and you're not sure how to approach it within your company, start the conversation, because AI is it's not going anywhere. In fact, it's going to be, it changes. Like as we're sitting here talking, something new has been launched. Something that we use today is changing. I've taken several classes on AI, and from the last class I took, things are already new and different. So I just think like you have to have that AI mindset. From my friends at Stay in Your Lane, I love what you're doing around training and education, and they talk about AI intuition. So you have to start somewhere, and I think within your systems, there should be a process and a protocol, whether you have an AI handbook per se or an AI policy. Again, I would have that conversation if you haven't had that conversation within your franchise. But I do think you need to embrace it. I can tell you at Home Franchise Concepts, we're definitely embracing it. Within our IT organization and our marketing organization, we're working collaboratively. In fact, our IT team, they're super progressive around this. We have a program within our parent company called Doing It Better Showcase, and our IT team has twice now won that. And they recently launched a AI blog writer for our franchise systems. So that's just one example and one use case to make something simple for our franchisees. They saw a problem, they came up with a solution using AI as part of that solution. So I know that was a long-winded answer around mindset, but you do have to start somewhere. And I don't think that AI is going anywhere anytime soon. It needs to be kind of embedded into your thinking. And like I mentioned earlier, I don't think a moment goes by as I'm looking to solve problems or work with my team to be better every day at what we do to help our brands grow, that AI isn't part of that consideration set or using tools to help us achieve our goals.
I love it. I love the reply. So your answer is like it covers different angles. It's like from practical, but also you just shared I would say a leadership transformational mindset behind this, because at this core,
Yes.
as you just mentioned, like creating this tools that empower and both your teams in the head office and also franchisees to give them this just better experience of using AI for their good. It's maybe something that every leader on this session should maybe take away with them? Just you're as a leader, you're responsible for creating these experiences for people you work with and your brands and the brand you work with.
Yeah, and I would just also add and kind of wrap up the whole mindset that I think if your company kind of allows that innovation, has a value around innovation and doing things better and always challenging the status quo, I would just bring AI into that. Just look at everything you're doing within your department or whatever area of the business that you lead. And we're all leaders in our own right, whether you're leading a team or you're leading a function, or you're an individual contributor leader. Just consider how AI can help you do what you're leading better. And that is really where the mindset shift comes into play.
Okay, great. Love it. Marcy, thank you very much.
My
Thank you for your
pleasure.
insights, value-packed insights in 10 minutes of our time. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the session as well. So thank you for watching. And next coming up is actually we're gonna see how brands like Empower Brands and Threshold Brands, how they use this mindset and tools to actually activate their brand and location for local marketing. Stay tuned.
So on that note, I'd like to welcome everyone for PromoRepublic Summit. At this event, we'll be talking about how PromoRepublic is more than just a platform. It's the infrastructure that's built to activate every brand and location with or without human input. But what does that actually look like day to day? Today, we'll be hearing directly from the teams using PromoRepublic to bring that vision to life, turning local marketing into something consistent, scalable, and automated. Let's dive in. Quick introduction to myself for those who have yet to meet me. My name is Alex Harbinyoff. I'm the senior marketing consultant working with PromoRepublic now for nearly 6 years, based typically out of Wilmington, North Carolina, but I'm connecting in from Helsinki, Finland today, where it is pouring rain nonstop. Aside from work, I'm currently a dad to just one little guy that runs around and terrorizes us nonstop. When I'm not working or managing the baby, I'm passionate into scuba diving, mountain biking, hiking, so always happy to connect on those topics, and a big lover of food. So there's a favorite dish that I have yet to try. Would love to kind of hear it. With no further ado, I would love to introduce our speakers today. And first and foremost, Annika, passing over the mic to you.
Thank you. My name is Annika Mitic. I am the Director of Digital Marketing here at Empower Brands. I come with almost 15 plus years of experience in the marketing world across a number of different industries and working deep diving really into a lot of different marketing channels and platforms here. I am also passionate about the outdoors and so love being able to get out for hiking and runs and that type of thing in my area here in Virginia.
Thank you so much for carving out time. Love to have you here. Brandy.
Yes, thanks for introducing me and thanks for having me here. My name is Brandy Murch and I'm the Director of Digital at Threshold Brands. I'm located in Detroit where it is also often a little bit rainy and chilly up here, although it's a nice day. So I've been in the digital space for about 15 years also, similar to Annika. I began in the agency world and then I moved over to the franchise world and it's kind of become my home. I really enjoy franchising and, working with multi-location businesses in the franchising whole environment. I love everything about it. So I'm really happy to be here. I am more of an indoor person and I do love reading and like you, Alex, so I do love food and I do love to travel. So I'm always heading somewhere new. Thanks for the intro and back to you, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you so much for carving out time to connect with us today as well. So let's get the panel started, pulling up the very first question here. And Brandy, as you just had the mic, I'll lean into you for the first question. What did activation look like locally before PromoRepublic for you?
Yeah, so great question. And I think that the quick answer is very different. Before PromoRepublic, we sort of went through multiple vendors over a period of years. And my goal when I stepped into the role was to get some level of aggregation and some level of joint activation and workflows and processes in place. Prior, there was a different tool for every possible local, what's the word I'm looking for? Every little local aspect, whether it's citations, whether it's rank tracking, whether it's review generation, whether it's review answering. And so it was very piecemeal. So I had a goal to really move that over to being something streamlined and process based, and something that we could really trust. And so it was a long process to get there, but it was really great to finally land on our relationship, and with PromoRepublic, for us to be able to make that happen.
Indeed, indeed. It's actually interesting because it took a couple years, and I believe our first touch point was actually on the agency world. So
It
the
was.
the lines.
Yes.
Perfect. Annika, passing the mic over to you.
Thank you. So we have 9 of our 10 brands that are currently on PromoRepublic, and prior to onboarding with PromoRepublic, everything was really done in silos. It sounds like it's a really similar situation to Brandy and the team. What we were really finding is that we would be using different tools. People would be posting at different times. Our franchisees really had no visibility into what we were posting on their behalf across the profiles, and that limited just what they were able to do too, because they might do a conflicting post on the same day. And then we also weren't able to track and measure things very effectively, because with all of the various tools, systems, and people posting, there really was no uniformity. So we weren't able to kind of measure and see the growth. We weren't able to do A/B tests as effectively, and we weren't able to optimize and see kind of what was working and then test it with some of the other brands. And so activation also looked very just haphazard, and it really depended on the brand and who was working with that brand and which tool we were using. So my goal was also to do a little bit of streamlining across our brands, so that way we could just have that additional visibility and empower our franchisees to be able to do more with social. And I think that's kind of where we're seeing some of the biggest changes now.
Love to hear that. Yeah, from my side, definitely hear that challenge very often, where each I would call it like channel or fragment within kind of the big marketing mix and strategy live silo in a different solution, different tool. And then when you look at it as a portfolio system where you have a magnitude of brands, not just one brand that you need to cater to, you lose out on the economics of scale. It's very difficult to map together the data using different tools that have different methodologies to how to report it. So the most amount of standardization and unification really kind of opens up the understanding what's working, where is it working, how do we replicate that in other systems as well. Love the feedback. Next question. What made you realize you needed a system for local level marketing? Annika, as you have the mic, I'll let you take this one first.
So the location level marketing is an approach that we take with pretty much every other channel. The struggle was really with the organic social side of things and being able to do that at scale across our brands. And so it wasn't necessarily a realization that we needed to do this. It was, how could we actually do this for organic social in particular? Because there was such a huge need for it, and there's so much value in driving that awareness and making those connections at the local level with the individual social profiles. And so we really just needed to be able to measure and track each location accordingly. And so what PromoRepublic did was it allowed us to then really streamline the scheduling and empower our franchisees so that they could have autonomy over their social media, more visibility into how we were supporting them at the corporate level too. So it was really just kind of that need and that gap that we were trying to fill, because we try to do it with every other channel, but we just could not do it effectively for social.
Indeed, indeed. Social is definitely that foundation that allows you to set the consistency from both a brand level, but really empower franchisees to showcase what they're about, what their local community looks like. Because at the end of the day, a franchisee is the storefront, and it's the executor of the customer experience you seek to deliver. So it's very, very vital to reflect that. Brandy, passing the mic over to you.
Thanks. So ours looks a little bit different. I would say that we, to some degree, had social already down per se. That was something that we had, had a tool, had social handled. But where we found the gap with was going above and beyond that and looking at review generation, local listing management, review responses. What we really needed was a system that could handle all of our needs. I operate the internal agency within Threshold Brands, so we're working across all of the brands, and we're really needing to be able to provide a whole variety of services for our franchisees. And we also, as Annika mentioned, needed a platform where we could aggregate all of the incoming data. So working with Promo allowed us to communicate what our needs and wishes and our desires were for each one of these modules, And then we really did make it work to aggregate it all together. So that what we really needed was all of those different elements pulled together into one space so we could manage it effectively for the franchisees and take as much as possible off of their shoulders. And so far it's been great.
Love to hear that. Yeah, standardization also creates an opportunity to also standardize training, whether it's somebody coming on board to the team on the support office level or franchisees engaging. You're creating that uniformity of this is the framework that we work by, and there's no different playbooks on a per solution basis. Love the feedback. Brandy, I'll let you take this one. How are you using PromoRepublic today across brands or locations / territories?
Yeah, so I kind of answered that just a second ago. So I'll dive a little bit deeper into that. But we are using PromoRepublic today across brands for social, and across locations for social, local listing management, review generation, review response, the messaging inbox. So we're really using it as a fully integrated solution for a lot of our local marketing touch points. Outside of paid, we've pretty much got everything on the organic digital side running through and inside together with PromoRepublic.
Spontaneous kind of thought here. Anything you hope to see in the near future?
I am really, we've had a lot of conversations about this. I am really, really excited to see how AI continues to integrate within all of our, tool sets, and especially how AI can assist us with that intelligence gathering. I think our biggest strength is when we are able to pull the data that matters and pull the insights that matter from that data. And so I think that that's where we've been with step one with PromoRepublic to begin really, really getting both local location data and then roll up aggregated data so that we can look from a top down bird's eye view and understand where we're at and then be able to spot trends. So I'm really looking forward to taking it to another level and not only understand how things look now and how things looked in the past, but looking at that in general from a trending perspective so we can maybe get early warnings or early positives and know what we're doing right and know where we need to pivot.
Perfect. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting couple coming quarters with the rollout of AI assistant on our side. So, and all of that, any AI really on the market, it starts with a healthy foundation of proper data. When you know that you can rely on your data, you can then educate those modules to really ensure that it's supporting not just the home office team, your field marketing specialists, and even down franchisees can get involved. Annika, your thoughts?
Yes, I agree. And that's one of the things that we're most excited about with PromoRepublic is just the ability to get into some of that data. So the way that we're using the system right now is mainly for the social scheduling. We do have a few brands that are using the review and the listings management as well. I'll say that the thing where we've seen the most adoption and just general excitement is around the social scheduling. And so typically what we do from a corporate or a national side is we'll do about 2 posts per brand every single week. And then we encourage the franchisees to do some additional posts throughout the week just to make the algorithm happy as well. But that way they can actually see what we've scheduled for them on their behalf. If they want to move it to a different day, if they want to edit it, they can always do that too, which really is a game changer for us with PromoRepublic. And what we encourage them to do is to do more of the personal, local, relevant posts, especially seasonal things. So that helps bolster the number of total posts that they're able to do. And what we've started to do is use the labeling and the tagging system within PromoRepublic as we're scheduling out some of the national posts in particular. And this kind of lends into the data and the what we're able to see is working and not working. And so as we're kind of tweaking the time of day, as we're tweaking the call to action that we're including in there, the links, that type of thing, we're really able to track and measure the success, or if something didn't work, be able to determine maybe what might not have worked about it so that we can then improve. And then we can also relay some of those best practices and our findings to the brand teams and to their networks. And so while the listing review and management has definitely helped, and it helps our franchisees just be so much more aware of new reviews that are coming in and when they need to do any of those NAP updates, that type of thing, it's really been in the social posting where we've seen the majority of the value and just being able to get that data.
Perfect. Yeah, we absolutely love when it's a hybrid approach instead of home office setting, that consistency, franchisees getting involved as well. I guess surprise question there. Would you potentially see yourself ever pivoting and also relying on the franchisees to influence your content generation strategy? So I like to call it like FGC, franchise generated content. Would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yes, and that's what we're already doing now because the franchisees are able to get in there and have, a different level of access and permissions within there. And so what they've been doing is we watch to see what else is working well there. And then if there is a really good video clip, if there is a fantastic image that they used, we then are, working with them to see if we can repurpose that and use that at the national level, or other locations might be able to use it too. So it's just so helpful for us to have that visibility as well and not have to go into every single individual profile to be able to see what's working. So that's definitely something where we've been using more of the franchisee generated content in addition to what we're producing, in addition to the templates that we already have uploaded to PromoRepublic, so that way we can build out our library and give them more things to do. And it inspires their fellow franchisees too. If they see somebody else doing something that's working really well, or it feels like something they could do themselves, they're then implementing that too, which is very encouraging.
Absolutely. From a perspective of a franchisee, getting some content done that gets then featured on the national page, brand page, or then repurposed for other locations, it only helps kind of keep the pace going and only gets them more inspired and drives that adoption across the entire network when it's more of a peer-to-peer approach as opposed to home offices preaching on us to what to do, and really kind of unifies that journey across the network.
Yeah.
Annika, I'll let you take this one from the top. What changed once you onboarded your locations?
Well, speaking of data, with the last question, I have some for this too. So what we saw just within the first quarter after we had onboarded all the brands is that there was an 11% growth in followers across all of our brands and their profiles. There was a 28% increase in the total number of posts, and this includes both national and the local posts that they were doing themselves. And there was a 108% increase in engagements with these posts. And so really the ability to give them the keys to the kingdom and encourage them with some of the training, the best practices, that type of thing, it allowed them to take it and run with it. And so what we're seeing with that is just this overall growth and adoption with using organic social more effectively. More of them have also become more interested in boosting posts. And so if we do something on the national level and they like it, then they'll go ahead and boost it locally too. And so we've really just been able to see that with this increase in the number of posts, it's helping them drive that initial engagement and awareness within their own markets, which is really exciting. So it's something that after these locations have been onboarded, there's still some that are a little bit more resistant to technology and that type of thing. But I think the ones who have adopted early, they're really starting to see the benefits of it. And then they're sharing that with their fellow franchisees too, just because it is something that's really effective. And now that they can see what we're doing on their behalf too, it allows them to be able to iterate and not repeat some of the things that we're already doing for them.
Perfect. Yeah, indeed. Data helps really drive that testimonial home and kind of hone in to catch that franchisee's mindset and overall kind of focus into the direction they should be heading. When you have data to back it, it's not like, I hope so. It's, I bet you kind of mindset and strategy.
Yeah.
Brandy, your thoughts?
Yeah, so we saw some similarities. What I found interesting and surprising was we found our franchisees both excited for and beginning to use more video content from a social perspective. Previously, I definitely think that they relied on the corporate content. And even though we had conversations in town halls and regular communications to encourage them to localize their posting, much in the way that Annika mentioned, we really didn't have a lot of uptake on that. Once we moved over to the PromoRepublic platform for the franchisees, and specifically the asset library, of which we preloaded, or your team helped us actually preload the branding, the fonts, the imagery, the corporate approved, branding in general into the asset library, along with the Canva integration, because we had franchisees who were separately using Canva to create their own posts already. It really sort of was like a marriage of all of the worlds, and we got a lot of traction and a lot of interest because of that pre-built asset library, the ability for franchisees to be able to go in and create their own content on brand very easily within a software and tool that they are already logging into for multiple purposes. And that really was a big change that we saw. And that leads into sort of my second big change, which is seeing a lot more content on brand. Getting content to be on brand was a struggle in the past, especially when franchisees don't have a tool that we can also have corporate, I don't want to say control, because we actually don't preview the posts before they go out, but we at least have awareness now. And so versus having individual posts on every single page, and we really don't have that visibility. So once we pulled everybody into the promo platform, and then the franchisees have that access to the asset library that is already fully branded, we really saw a shift in random, posts with puppy dogs and fonts that were very much not on brand, to great posts with content that was preloaded, that was both franchisee generated and franchisor generated, that were nicely on brand, and along with video content, also because that asset library makes it easy for the franchisees to work with it.
Indeed, indeed. That's typically what we're hearing as well. When you give that foundation, it kind of establishes, I wouldn't say the expectation, but at least the feel of what it should look like if they want to get in within like a Canvas style editor. And in conjunction to that, I'd say it also just makes it more visual for them and makes more kind of experimental. Even if it's not perfect from the first time, at least they're starting to get involved. And what I'd like to say, it's not so much controlling, but it's like putting kind of the safety nets that are in place and establishing some guidelines of what this should look like and making that really visual and easy to kind of adopt and use.
And honestly, I do believe that franchisees generally want to stay on brand, and that they believe and understand why we have branding. But when you're not using a unified tool and you don't have all of those, fonts and colors and imageries and brand guidelines at their fingertips, they don't have a way to create posts that are on brand. They just don't have the ability to. So by putting that all together and having them able to access it, they're more than happy and excited and enjoy creating posts that are on brand within those guidelines.
Perfect, perfect. Next question. How did your franchisees / local teams, whether that's a field support specialist, a business coach, what surprised them the most and you the most?
So what surprised me the most, and I mentioned it a little bit in the last answer, was that our franchisees were so excited about the integration of video. So being able to finally pull in TikTok and YouTube Shorts was something that they are and have been really, really excited about. And it's sort of got the creative juices flowing, and a lot of conversations and new videos coming in on site, doing the work. With Made Pro, for instance, they're pros in action in the homes, and it's just really providing a lot of opportunity that they didn't have before, because we know that video is really where we want to go, and video brings a lot of attention and traction socially. So our franchisees were extremely, extremely excited to be able to pull that in and make some use of those videos that they might take.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, indeed. Video content, in my perspective, definitely drives substantially more engagement than any static image would.
Absolutely.
Annika, your thoughts, your perspective?
I think overall there was just really good adoption across the different brands. We have some brands that are a little bit more early adopters and we're really excited about it. But what's been so interesting, I think, also has been on the video side. So for us to be able to produce some of these videos at the corporate level, it just takes a lot of bandwidth and a lot of time. When they're doing it themselves, when they're doing it in the field, when they're showing some of the projects that they're working on, the befores, the afters, that type of thing, it just gets so much more engagement, because ultimately that's what people want to see. They don't really want to see a really high production, type video on social. What they're looking for is to be able to make that connection. And so seeing the franchisees really adopt that and to be able to use that more effectively is something that I think has been one of the biggest benefits here. And so as they are seeing their colleagues then doing this a little bit more as well, they're kind of getting the bug for that. So I think that's been the most surprising thing, which has been a huge benefit for us on the corporate side, just because now we have more bandwidth to be able to support in other ways. And they're now taking the reins and really driving the video strategy there locally.
Perfect. I guess with the commonality of video getting really good traction, surprise question, as a lover of like technology, whether that's hardware, software, what's everybody's thoughts on smart glasses? and putting them on some technicians to capture like that point of view content, like while they're servicing.
I'm a fan. I think it's really great. I love it's one less chore, for them to do, which is set up the tripod, set up the phone, and often requires training. I'm really excited for smart glasses to be smart. I know we've had some previous iterations out there that didn't have a lot of uptake, but I think that especially in home services, there's a ton of opportunity to be able to capture video, in the moment and in the process, which, like Annika said, is truly what brings traction. It's what people want to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's really exciting. And we have some brands that even use drones as part of their service for roofing, for example, to get, the imagery from above. And so I think the combination of some of those different tools is just so much more effective because it gives somebody a different angle and it really just gives them a fresh perspective of seeing kind of what's going on behind the scenes, so to speak. And so I think the glasses could be a really exciting thing. They just need to make the safety glasses that are smart as well. So that way you can actually have like the official protective safety wear that's required in some of the sites, but still be able to get that visual. That would be very powerful.
Yeah, it's my wife got me a pair for my birthday, and like the first thing that popped to mind in the service space, I was like, wouldn't it be great if like you join as a franchisee to a service brand and it's like you're handed the glasses, go capture jobs. It's like if you don't feel comfortable editing, pass it back to us. We'll package you a month worth of content from 20 minutes of you working.
That's great.
Perfect. Final question, Annika, I'll let you take this one from the top. What's next for you and your team now that you have this foundation in place?
So one of the things that we're doing is ongoing training and just general education of best practices. A lot of these franchisees are business owners. They're not necessarily marketing experts. And so there's a lot of things that they really appreciate of just kind of the frequency of what they should be posting, how to be able to use hashtags effectively, that type of thing. And so we're continuing with some of that education, some of it in partnership with PromoRepublic, so that way they can also get more use out of the platform. The other thing that we're doing is we're launching some competitions with them. And so we are, really encouraging video in particular. So we're giving them just an outline of some of the topics by quarter and then by month that they could be recording. They can then submit it. And then the winners will be announced at our big annual meeting that we have every single year. So we're just really excited to be able to celebrate their hard work and just adoption of some of these newer things because of the impact that it's having locally. So now that we can also track and measure what that engagement is, it's going to be even more effective and it will help us with some of those competitions, but we're excited to launch those in the next few weeks too.
Love it. Yeah, gamification is a very effective tool in franchising to help franchisees pick up the pace and establish that friendly competition. Brandy?
Yeah, so similar in terms of training. So our current next step is to continue to move promo out amongst all of our brands. So we are rolling it out brand by brand. At this point in time, we have the bulk of our brands supported. So I believe we may have one or two brands that we're still working on rolling out. So right now we are still in what I would consider the full brands rollout. And then once we have a full brands rollout, then we begin group training, helping them understand how to take advantage of the platform, similar to what Annika said. What I'm really looking forward to also is, I enjoy.
Brandy, I think we lost you there for 1 second. Maybe let's give Brandy a minute.
Use it.
Oh, Brandy, are you back with us? I think you're back.
Awesome. Okay, where should I start?
We lost you there. I think it might make sense to take it from the top.
Okay. So What's next for the team and I is to continue to roll the PromoRepublic software out amongst the other brands. We have 11 brands in total. We've rolled it out to about 7 or 8, and so we are continuing to roll the software out to the rest of the brands. Once we have completed full brand rollout, we will then begin, further training, town halls, more in-depth knowledge within the platform. I agree with Annika in terms of getting as much adoption as possible. It's a tool that has so many different facets for us that we are using. So the more adoption we can get in each of those spaces is beneficial to corporate, to the franchisees, to everybody involved. So we're really looking forward to that. And then we're also looking forward to really integrating that AI in. As we've talked, we found that the review response AI has been amazing. We love it. We love that it brings in emojis. So we've been using that, and we're looking forward to integrating that even further within our workflow, so that corporate can take that fully off the franchisee's hands. One less task for them means more time running their business. So there's quite a few things in the pipeline that we're really looking forward to. We are working with PromoRepublic also with review generation, and we are really looking forward to continuing to iterate those campaigns so that we can drive more reviews, which then feeds into increased business along with our social, with review responses. So it's really about using the data that we're provided, and then maximizing the use of each one of the modules that we are using on the daily. So that's our next steps.
Love it, love it. Annika, closing thoughts?
Yeah, I'm
If
excited to
any.
see where AI is going to take us and some of the improvements there. I think it's something that as we really just lean into social and the training and the best practices and that type of thing, the beauty of having a lot of people working on it is that you just see that much more in terms of the quantity of ideas and the things that they're trying out. And so I think that we'll be able to see what is the most effective at scale a little bit more quickly than what we were able to do when it was just corporate doing a lot of the social posting for them. So really excited to see where we can go with that and some of the advancements that will come in the next few months.
Perfect. Annika, Brandy, thank you so much for the time to taking us, walking us through, kind of giving us a look behind the scenes of what's working and how it's evolving over a course of time. What stood out is mutually for me, it seems like the right system in place, local marketing stops being a scramble and fragmented and really starts running smoothly, effectively across teams, brands, locations, and territories. And oftentimes it's not about just adding and putting in more tools. It's about making the whole process augmented and substantially better and seamless. And that's where PromoRepublic steps in to help, supporting over 110 brands as of today. With some closing thoughts on my side, would love to kind of share everybody's QR codes. If there's any follow-up questions that somebody has, kind of wants to talk through, the QR codes is the contact details. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for their time, for tuning in, and wishing everybody a productive and blessed day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining the PromoRepublic Summit. Today, we explored activation playbooks, demonstrated our AI assistant, and shared case studies and expert insights. Please take a moment to answer the Zoom poll. Which update interested you the most? Unified marketing dashboards with GA4 or CRM integrations, solutions for brand groups, or better access to the AI assistant? If you want a personalized demo on PromoRepublic platforms and how to activate your locations, use the link in the chat to book the session with our team. We will send all presentation materials, recordings, and resources to your inbox soon. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat, and we will follow up directly. Activate your brand in every location. See you next time.